Disclaimer: I'm no famous streamer, gacha game developer, or analyst. I'm just a player, and these are my opinions. I've wanted to make this video for a while, but I didn't know how to go about doing it, so I'm going to break it up into 4 parts, as shown here. Hopefully, this adds something meaningful to the discussion. My guildmaster said something to me that caught me off guard. They didn't rig the gacha, they didn't introduce unobtainable overpowered bleep, they didn't massively affect the player base negatively. They did nothing wrong. I'm more surprised to see the community in outrage given that there was no dynamic event that negatively impacted the player base. I've seen other gacha games introduce things like pay-to-win equipment that gives an unfair advantage to whales, or games that choose to secretly give their partnered content creators access to more powerful units. Smilegate did none of this, and yet the community outrage is as if they did. I'm sure everybody already knows about what is now Epic 2.9. While it's fine to highlight issues that the game has and give opinions on changes that need to be made, a lot of people have just been lying. There was a review I saw on Google Play that stated that there were no new heroes in months, posts on Reddit that stated that we were missing out on rewards from the Santa's event compared to the Japan server, saying that we were being given adoption tickets instead of bookmarks, when in reality, as highlighted by Redditor PandaFiMe, the rewards were similar. And it makes me wonder, if the game is so bad and there are so many issues, why do people need to lie and make up things? I think that we should move away from perpetuating hate and stay focused on what needs to be changed. Like the game currently has a 3.2 rating on Google Play for graphics. For graphics! This section may take up a majority of the video, as there are a number of issues that I'd like to touch upon. First, the world boss. If I had to name a time when this whole situation started, it would had to have been coupled with the release of the world boss. The release had been talked about for a long time, and everyone's expectations were high. I was even hoping that it would be some sort of co-op content, as I feel that's the one thing that the game is missing. But instead, what we got was a slight upgrade to Summoner's Wars world boss. This is the part of the video where I reveal that yes, I used to be a Summoner's War player. Essentially, it's skippable daily content that gives a set of random rewards, which isn't particularly spectacular, but it does give us access to a few things. The biggest boon for me and my guild is the steady supply of Proof of Courage. We were a relatively new guild that couldn't afford to constantly give out daily energy, let alone the supply chest, but with the addition of World Boss, we have more than enough, and I can't see this as a negative. Now, I've been looking at screenshots since the World Boss came out, and while people complain about the 6k gold that comes out of a majority of the chests, we also get additional chances at silver and gold transmits, Molagora, usable gear, and catalysts. World Boss also drops small runes, which help players increase their stocks so that we don't have to waste our time farming low-level Spirit Hunt when we need to build new units. The entry cost is more than covered by the daily free energy that we get, and while it's not the dynamic content that we were looking for, it still gives us access to a lot of resources for almost no effort. The second major issue. I know, and you know, that the pet system wasn't exactly what everybody wanted. They're expensive and another form of RNG-based progression, but they're well worth the investment, because the thing is, once you get a good pet, you can keep its bonuses forever. I still don't have a perfect hunt pet, but with the 2 skills that I have, my charm problems were now severely reduced. I can farm hunt for gear and get the gold and materials that I need to enhance it. I didn't know how much of a difference it was making until I tried to upgrade my boots and noticed that I had 44 small boot charms. The other pets help with side story and adventure farming, and the lobby pets help to increase our overall gold through reductions in enhancement costs and increased gold from selling equipment. The main drawback I have is that homemade snacks are so unobtainable. The drop rate from adventure and side story feels low, and due to community outrage, they removed homemade snacks from hunts, meaning that I can no longer grind through the day and then auto farm at night, or when I'm studying, or even cooking dinner. And let me clarify, it's not like we were losing out on extra equipment from getting snacks from hunts. The homemade snack rate was taken from half of the energy drop rate, which people hated getting in the first place. Now there is no reliable source for snacks, which basically gets rid of the auto farming aspects that were the highlight of the pet system. And for what? More chances at 12 energy? The community essentially gimped the pet system themselves. And no, I don't think that there should be unlimited auto farming for the game, because at that point, only the whales would be able to sustain it, exacerbating the energy issues. And would we really even be playing a game at that point? Now, I know there are real issues. As our teams get faster, energy becomes more of a problem. I previously built a 40-second Banshees one-shot team. For late-game players, it's impossible to maintain our farming at a rate to stay competitive just on the energy that we receive for free, especially when I know that not everyone uses their Skystones purely for farming. Smilegate made a comment in the past when Hun 11s were first introduced that stated that they were gearing the rewards that we received based on how much energy we spend. And we do get a lot of things from a single hunt run, realistically. But I do hope that the energy system is improved in the future. I just don't know if full stamina recharges will be enough, or are the proper solution to the problem. We also need more content. The player base is hungry for something to do other than farming hunts. At this point we have Guild Wars, Hall of Trials, Automaton Tower, raids, plus new side stories and adventure for the people who like to read. Which if you weren't going to already, you should definitely read Eulogy for a Saint when it returns, and it is the best side story that I have read so far. The problem I see with this content is that it's not particularly difficult or engaging. I hated climbing through Abyss, but looking back, experimenting with teams and trying to figure out how to cheese the different boss mechanics was some of the best times I've had playing Epic 7. That being said, when I was a new player, I climbed through most of Abyss with Araminta and normal lots, because I didn't have many heroes at the time. Now, when we get new challenging content, people complain about it. I remember how hard the last 10 floors of Automaton Tower were on release, but they ended up being nerfed because a majority of the players couldn't clear it, giving us 1 hour autoable content a month instead of a challenge. As a community, we're so divided between challenge seekers and those who just want more free stuff. We don't know what we want, but I think the answer to a lot of the problems people have with the lack of content would be the regular release of meaningful challenges with crazy mechanics that we can't just slam into with well-geared units. That being said, I wish that we, as a community, would group around these two issues specifically, being not enough challenging content and energy, because I feel that they would have the largest positive impact on the game overall. Now, the last section of this video is going to touch on the fact that it's not like Smilegate hasn't been doing anything for this past year. Like I said before, a lot of the backlash came during the release of World Boss that we waited a year for, but during the latter half of the year, we got huge monthly updates. Not only that, but Smilegate lowered the cost of Molagoras multiple times and made it so that we could use Stigma instead for 3-star units. We got new login rewards. Smilegate has also shown that they want to listen to the community. We got the equipment conversion system that admittedly had troubles on release, and then was changed to be more in line with our expectations. Speaking of that, we have already gotten promises of improvements for the pet system and World Boss rewards. We will also soon be getting the long-awaited real-time arena, which should be a blast. That's why I don't understand why Smilegate is still receiving so much hate, as if they've abandoned their game and are letting it die more and more with each update. In conclusion, while I understand wholeheartedly that the game isn't perfect, I don't think that it's inherently flawed either. It's my favorite gacha that I've played to date, and has continually kept me engaged while trying its best to listen to the community and still keeping the game going in their desired direction. If you've watched the video all the way through, I'd like to start off by saying thank you, and I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments down below. So without further ado, this has been Cafe Kaz. Thanks for watching.